Organizing Academic Research Papers 01. The title:
Professor Dr. Fung Meng Moi.
So it is very important to have a good title, because a title will persuade readers to read your manuscript, and it will give the content, it will describe the content of your manuscript accurately, and it will make your manuscript accessible to others in your field when you use the appropriate keywords. So when you do a search, right, when you send in some keywords, when you do a search, the first thing that appears in the screen in your Google search will be the titles. So that's why it's very important. So how to write or choose a title? It must be accurate, specific, concise, informative, attract readers, and short. It's very easy to say, but it may not be so easy to do it, right? Okay, so there are various ways to write titles. We can do it the classical way, the convention way, and we can also phrase the title in a question format, or we can give the answers of in the title. That means it is an assertive sentence title. The results or the hypothesis is answered in the title. Okay, so the conventional or the classical way of writing a title could be changes in body mass index, like HbA1c, blood pressure, and LDL cholesterol among type 2 diabetes patients in Malaysia, a population-based longitudinal study. So this tells us in the classical way, and the study design is also provided. Or sugar-sweetened beverage intake and its association with cardiometabolic risk among adolescents. So this is the classical way of writing titles. The question in the title can be, do workplace physical activity intervention improve mental health outcomes? So from this title, we know that the manuscript is writing about whether workplace physical activity intervention will improve mental health outcome or not. Or does change in perception following counseling result in improved quitting outcomes among Malaysian smokers? So these are the questions in the title. The third method of writing title is giving the answer in the title. So the example is the modified NCEP ATP3 criteria may be better than the IDF criteria in diagnosing metabolic syndrome among Malays in Kuala Lumpur. So this paper actually was comparing which criteria, whether the NCEP ATP3 criteria or the IDF criteria is better in diagnosing metabolic syndrome. So the title gives us the answer, saying that the NCEP ATP3 criteria is better, right? The next example is the importance of social cultural context when choosing to eat healthier. So this is the findings is that social cultural is very important when for the adults in choosing healthy diet. So this is the answer of the research. Or the last one is poor attainment of HbA1c, blood pressure, and LDL cholesterol goal among younger adults with type 2 diabetes. So this paper was trying to compare whether younger adults with type 2 diabetes have better attainment or poorer attainment in HbA1c, blood pressure, and LDL cholesterol. So the answers is that the younger adults actually they perform poorer in these diabetes indicators. So these are the various types of way to write the titles. So it's up to you and your co-authors to decide how you want to phrase the titles. Okay, there's no right or wrong. It's just that which way you prefer it to be. Right. So the steps in writing a manuscript is you have to construct an informative abstract. You have to write an effective introduction, describe your method in detail so that it can be replicated by a third person. and your results should be reported precisely. Make your discussion relevant and interesting, relevant to the findings and interesting, and make conclusion according to your findings. And all this is following the IMRAD way. So usually the abstract would be written last, and the title you can write the title first, but after you write your full paper, you decided that if you decide to modify the title, you are also free to do so. So there's nothing fixed in stone until you submit it to the journal, right? And when you do the writing, the reporting, for us in the medical and public health field, we do have standardized reporting guidelines, which for observation study design, we have stroke. And if it's, you are doing working on nutrition related studies, you can take a look at the stroke NUT. This is an extension of the stroke checklist. And then if you're writing for RCT, you should use the reporting guideline following CONSORT and PRISMA for systematic review. Quite a number of journals are already requesting the authors to do the reporting according to these guidelines following the respective study designs. So it's good to take a look at these guidelines, and you may want to use it as a guide so that you don't miss out reporting any detail.